I know I'm shirtless, I haven't gone to bed yet, it doesn't matter. I had to make this video because this is the problem I've been talking about in my other videos. This is the problem with Bitcoin. This is the main problem with Bitcoin. I get on Facebook and what do I see? I see an advertisement for something that's called Litecoin. Internet currency. Litecoin is a peer-to-peer internet currency that could change the way we think about money. Let's go like this page. Let's see what it's about. It's probably the same thing as Bitcoin. It's an internet currency that enables instant payments to anyone in the world. It is based on the Bitcoin protocol, but differs from from Bitcoin, right? Its latest price is 28 bucks USD, a Litecoin. Here's the problem with Bitcoin. This is the problem with Bitcoin. The problem with Bitcoin is there's nothing backing it. There's nothing that's giving it intrinsic value. There's nothing that's giving it real value except for the fact that it's a potential hedge against governments printing money and devaluing currency, and that's about it, right? What makes money real money? What gives money value? What gives money value is it's backed by something. That's what's giving money. That's what has been giving money value for the last 6,000 years. And what's been consistent is something that's rare, that everybody wants, that can't just be, that there's not an abundance. Because it's rare, it makes it valuable, and that's gold. Having money that's backed by gold makes the money worth something. When you can take a piece of paper, when you can take a $20 bill, go to a bank and they'll give you $20 worth of gold for this $20 bill. When the Federal Reserve was created in 1913, an ounce of gold was 20 bucks. So I could, even though it only had the Fed only had 40%, it wasn't 100% back. They had it was like 40 to 100, right? So it wasn't like they didn't have the exact amount, but it was still backed by gold, and you could still redeem it for gold, right? So in 1913, I could take this 20 bucks to a Federal Reserve bank, and they would give me $20 worth of gold, which was an ounce of gold, because that's what the exchange rate was, right? And because gold's been valuable for 6,000 years, traced back to the time of the Egyptians, 5,000 to 6,000 years, right? Don't quote me to the year. Some people try to quote me to the year. Because of that, everybody knows gold is valuable, right? The main argument is, well, what is it? What can you really do with gold, right? Well, let's be honest. You can't do anything with gold, unless you want to have a little bit of jewelry. What do I like? I want shelter. I want food. I want water. I want the essentials. I want, on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I believe it's called, I want, the basics is the most important, which is, air, water, food, shelter. That's kind of the essence, right? Gold is not any of that, but because everybody wants gold, everybody can use gold to buy those things, right? There's a fair amount of water in the world, so having money that's backed by, a cup of water doesn't make that money too valuable. But because gold, it's hard to mine, it's scarce, it increases by 1% to 2% a year. That's kind of the going rate. Gold has value, and it just had value because it's gotten built up for 6,000 years. But because of that, there's a very good chance that the value of gold is going to be good, 10, 20, 30 years from now if it's, had the sustainability of 6,000 years. Bitcoin's been around for 4 years. If something can rise quickly, something can fall quickly, especially something that's not backed by anything. This is the problem people in Bitcoin will face, is these other currencies, Litecoin internet currency, right? That's the thing that was advertised on my Facebook. I know there's a bunch of other ones out there. And what will happen is there will eventually be somebody that creates an internet currency. And I'm doing a couple things right now. I have a couple projects lined up, but if no one else does, after these 2 projects I get done knocking out, I will create this internet currency that is backed by gold, and that will take everything. That will take Storm, and that will be the dominant internet currency in the world. It will wipe out Bitcoin. It will wipe out everything else. Reason for that is because it'll be backed by gold. And what do I mean by that? I mean where there's this big place that it stores a bunch of gold. It's tightly secured. And for every, we'll call it a gold internet coin. I'll call it Bitcoin number 2. So for every one of my Bitcoins, it's backed by an ounce of gold. And what you could do is I could go buy something with one of my gold-backed Bitcoins. It wouldn't be called a Bitcoin. I'd call it, let's say, a gold coin, right? So I could go buy something online, just like with a Bitcoin, and then let's say it costs half a Bitcoin. Well, somebody would transfer half an ounce of gold from my account to their account in this, in this warehouse that's tightly regulated, that has guards and everything. And then that will give my currency value, and my internet currency would rule out of all of them, because anybody at any given point in time could, give me a call, say they want their gold for their currency, and then I could just mail them the gold. And when somebody comes out with something like that, that will take everything from storm. Because that will, be the dominant internet currency, because it will be backed by something. It will be backed by gold. And to be honest, anything that comes out would be better that's backed by something, would take over Bitcoin, because it would be backed by something. It could be, silver would be good, but it could be a bunch of other things. It could be land. It could be, just something that has value. It could be property. I'm trying to think about it. The main thing is gold, but it could be something else as well. So that's what we're saying, and that's the problem Bitcoin's going to have. Remember, if something can rise quickly, something can fall quickly. Bitcoin's, gold, an ounce of gold right now is like $1,200 as the time I'm making this video. A Bitcoin is like $1,000, right? Don't we think there's a little bit of speculation in there? Don't we think there might be a little bit of a bubble forming? If gold, that has real intrinsic value, and keeping in mind the U.S. dollar is 96%, the value of the U.S. dollar has lost 96% of its purchasing power due to the Federal Reserve increasing the money supply, which causes inflation and decreases the value of our money. With all that happening, an ounce of gold is $1,200. A Bitcoin's like what? Don't quote me, $8,000, $9,000 bucks. Might be a little bit of a bubble. Something to think about. So now, I'm all for finding a currency that the government can't devalue. I'm all for finding an internet currency that can be exchanged for goods and services that will keep its value, because there's only a limited amount. But I know, because looking at history, that currency, in order for it to be sustainable, needs to be backed by something, right? All fiat currency in the history of the world has failed, and I don't see why that concept, looking at the fundamentals of it, would not apply to an internet currency that's backed by nothing as well, aka Bitcoin. Love the idea of Bitcoin, love what it stands for, love what us people in the Bitcoin community are doing, but I do know, like I said a couple minutes ago in this video, money has to be backed by something. It has to be backed by something that has intrinsic value, and that everybody wants and everybody knows has intrinsic value, aka gold, aka silver. Could be land. Hopefully you guys see what I'm saying. That's what I got for you guys as far as this video goes. This is Aaron Goldstein signing off.